Hello students, let me introduce a new subject by name Business Organization and Management. This subject is for first year BCom students. We will be studying this paper in semester 1. Here in this subject we have 5 units. Let us have an idea about the various units. First unit, it deals with the introduction and forms of business organization. Second unit focuses on the joint stock company. And third unit, it focuses on the introduction to functions of management. And fourth unit is on planning and organizing. And fifth one is on authority, coordination and control. The first unit I have divided into 4 lessons. In the first lesson, I want to focus on the following topics. So I want to discuss in today's class with respect to meaning of business, various concepts of business, and we will be discussing about the characteristics and objectives of business. We will be knowing about the industry, classification of industries. Next, we will be focusing on the commerce. Here we will be looking at how the commerce helps in removing various hindrances. We will study about the trade, classification of trade. We study about the aids to trade. We study the relationship and differences among business, industry, commerce, trade. So these are the aspects which we will be discussing in today's class. So first, let us concentrate on the meaning of business and concepts of business. Business means it involves producing, purchasing, lending or selling of goods and services for earning profit. In simple words, business is an activity which occurs for earning a profit after providing goods or services in exchange of money. Business is an economic activity, and its main objective is to earn profit. Without profit, business cannot survive in the market. It is the basic thing which is required to meet the losses, replace outdated assets, and they have to pay various expenditure, etc. So the profit will be used for these. So therefore, profit motive is very much essential in business. Now coming to the concepts of business, just for an idea, business means we have industry, we have commerce. If we focus on the industry, we have primary, secondary, tertiary sectors. And again, the primary is divided into genetic industry, extractive industry. We have secondary industries, for example, they are divided into construction, manufacturing. And the manufacturing, again, it is subdivided into analytical, synthetic, assembling, processing. When we see the commerce side, the commerce is nothing but trade and aids to trade. That means the trade is in two ways. It is internal as well as external. And the internal trade is again divided into two: wholesale trade and retail trade. And as you all know, the external trade is divided into three: imports, exports, entry port. And regarding the aids to trade, that means which help the trade. What are the aids to trade? Transportation, insurance, distribution, advertising, warehousing. So let us study about the industry, commerce, trade, and aids of trade. So industry refers to the unit or area under which different subunits or companies produce their goods in factories. It consists of all activities which are involved in manufacturing of goods, from purchasing of raw material to producing finished products. All production activities are usually being dealt in an industry. There are three types of materials which are produced in the industry. There are producers or capital goods, consumer goods, intermediate goods. And coming to the commerce, it always refers to the process of buying and selling of goods and services at a large scale. It is classified into two types: trade and aids to trade. According to Stephenson, commerce is concerned with the exchange of goods, with all that is involved in buying and selling of goods, any stage in their progress of from raw material to finished goods in the consumer's hands. Commerce covers not only the function of buying and selling, handling of goods, it also focuses on the services which must be provided, just like finance, insurance, storage, transportation, in the course of these exchanges. And we have trade. Trade is a part of commerce. It deals with the buying and selling of goods. Trade is regarded as the biggest strength of commerce. All the significant activities like transportation, warehousing, insurance, banking, advertising are the part of a trade. And the aids to trade are nothing but they are the auxiliaries to trade, or they are the facilitators. Okay, they facilitate the trade for easy exchange of goods and services, transportation, warehousing, insurance, banking, advertising, and branding. Now, coming to the business and what are the characteristics and objectives of business. Business means activities which involve producing, purchasing, lending, or selling of goods and services for earning profit is known as business. In simple words, business would be an activity which occurs for earning profit. And business is an economic activity. It is the basic thing which is required to meet the losses. Profit is nothing but the basic thing which is required to meet the losses, replace the outdated assets. Now, coming to the characteristics of business, we have say some 6 characteristics. The first one focuses on the exchange of goods and services. Second one focuses on the profit motive, and third one is related to economic activities. Fourth one is risk and uncertainty. Fifth one is continuity of transactions, and sixth one is consumer satisfaction. Now let us focus on the first point: exchange or production of goods and services. Every business is carried on the purpose of either procuring or producing of goods or services. Goods are in physical form, they are visible and tangible, whereas services are invisible and intangible. Goods are classified as consumer goods and producer goods. The goods which are used directly by ultimate consumer for personal use are called as consumer goods, and the goods which are purchased for further process such as raw material, machinery, they are treated as producer goods. Next one is profit motive. Profit maximization is the basic element of every business. Every organization runs on the commercial line. Business which can earn more than what has been invested can earn profit or wealth. Every business thinks about the profit concept or profit motive. They are all think about the profit. Yes, they have to think and they have to get profits. That is very much essential. So profit motive is one of the characteristics of business. Third one is related to economic activities. Economic sense, in the sense we can say business is to work, efforts and acts of people which are connected with the production of wealth. Here we have the efforts of the people, and we what for these actions or efforts, it is all to produce wealth. All businesses involve economic activities. So economic activities play a very important role and one of the characteristics of business. So unless and until the human beings work and they produce finished goods, and when we sell them, this is a process. So therefore activity has to take place. We have to use all the resources, the material, machinery, everything. We have to use it to the maximum extent, and these economic activities play a very significant role in the business, and it is one of the important characteristics of business. And we have another characteristic, which is risk and uncertainty. Every business there is a chance of risk because the future is uncertain. Objective of every organization is to earn profit, and there is a risk is there, and what we have to do, number of factors due to which risk arises as follows. See, for example, we have change in technology take place. We have to adapt to the new technology, otherwise we will become outdated. So change in consumer taste. So the tastes of the consumers, fashions, they will be changing. So accordingly we have to change our production, or we have to see that the customers satisfies with our goods or services. We have to focus, otherwise we will be eliminated from the business. Wrong decisions about the use of resources. We have to use the resources properly. Sometimes we come across the problems of labor unrest will take place. We have to solve them. Sometimes there will be shortage of raw material. There are several competitors in the market. We have to compete with them. Sometimes the prices they fall down. At that time, how to overcome such type of difficulty? Sometimes because of accidents, sometimes fire, theft, some because of loss may take place. So these are the risks which we have to be considered, and we have to overcome such losses, such risk. So business means it is the chance of risk is involved, and further we have to take certain steps, and we have to overcome such losses by means of insurance or something like that. Okay. So now coming to the fifth point, it is related to continuity of transactions. Business is continuous and it's a long-term process. When the transactions are conducted in a series on a regular basis, it is considered as business. Otherwise, it is not a business. So it should be continued. Next one is consumer satisfaction. Satisfaction of consumer is the ultimate aim of every business. With the increase in need of consumer, the new wants will arise in business, which would bring new opportunities. The satisfaction of consumer can be derived from the sale of goods and services. So therefore the needs of the consumer are to be fulfilled, and he has to purchase our products again and again. That leads to good business, and we get more and more profits. So consumer satisfaction is also one of the important characteristic of business. Now let us focus on the industry. Let us focus on the classification of industries. Industry refers to the unit or area under which different subunits or companies produce their goods in factories. It consists of all activities which are involved in manufacturing of goods, purchasing of raw material to producing finished products. All production activities are usually being dealt in an industry. So here we have, for example, three. We can classify the industries into three: primary industries, secondary industry, tertiary or service industry. So in the primary industry, we have two: genetic industry and extractive industry. In the secondary industry, we have two: manufacturing industry and constructive industry. In third, service industry, it is all related to the transportation, banking, insurance, advertising, warehousing. In secondary industry, manufacturing industry, for example, we can sugar factories, cement industries, textile factories, they all come under manufacturing. Constructive, as you all know, construction of roads, bridges, buildings, etc., they all come under constructive industry. We have extractive industry where mining will take place, agriculture, quarrying, everything comes under the extractive. And we have genetic in the sense animal husbandry, poultry farming, plantation, etc. They are all genetic industry. So primary industry, secondary industry, and tertiary industry. So now let us in detail study about the primary industry. Primary industry consists of those activities with the help of which natural resources are being utilized to offer raw material to other industries. There are two types of primary industries: genetic and extractive. So genetic industry, it refers to the industries engaged in reproducing and multiplying of certain species of animals and plants for profit by their sale. So nurseries, poultry, they all come under genetic industry. We have extractive industry. It refers to the industries which extract wealth from beneath the surface of earth. See, for example, mining, hunting, fishing, etc. Secondary industry. Secondary industry involves the production of new products by utilizing the products that are already being produced. Example, production of cloth out of cotton. Cotton is primary and cloth is from secondary industry. And these secondary industries are manufacturing and constructive. So manufacturing industry always refers to those industries which deal with the activities of production of a product by making use of raw material and semi-finished material along with men and machines. Steel from iron ore, sugar from sugarcane, cloth from cotton, cement from stone, paper from bamboo, and so on. Constructive industry, it is engaged in the construction works by making use of things manufactured by other industries: building, construction, bridges, roads, dams. We use cement, bricks, iron, wood, steel, etc. Tertiary or service industry. So this service industry, we call it as tertiary industry. These industries usually offer the services which facilitate the businesses to grow smoothly without any obstacle. We have the banking, insurance, transportation, advertisement, storage, etc. They play a very, very important role, and they help the secondary industries and the primary industries. And now let us focus on the commerce and how commerce helps in removing the various hindrances. Commerce refers to the process of buying and selling of goods and services at large scale. It is classified into two types: trade and aids to trade. According to Stephenson, commerce is concerned with the exchange of goods, that is involved in buying and selling goods at any stage in their progress. from raw material to finished goods in the consumer's hands. It covers not only the function of buying and selling, handling of goods, but also many other services which include finance, insurance, storage, transportation in the course of other exchanges. Coming to the features of commerce, commerce include economic activities which basically aims at yielding profit. It also deals with the exchange of goods and services. It generates time and place utility. It is associated with the consistency of transactions. So that is very, very important. Unless and until we have that continuity, continuous transactions should take place, then only we call it as a commerce or business. Okay, and always commerce, it deals with the exchange of goods and services, and always it focuses on yielding the profit. And commerce helps in ensuring the availability of the products in the global and also in the international market. And how commerce helps in removing the hindrances. See, we have 6 hindrances. One is hindrance of person, hindrance of place, hindrance of time, hindrance of risk, hindrance of exchange, hindrance of knowledge. So, commerce helps in removing all these hindrances. Hindrance of person, how is it removed? Usually the producers and consumers of various places does not know each other. Trade helps in delivering the produced goods to the consumers through wholesalers, agents, and retailers. Hence, trade helps in eliminating the hindrance of persons. We have hindrance of place. Commerce solves the distance problem of space between the place of consumption and the place of manufacturing. With the help of continuous attempts of transporters and packaging units, we are able to deliver the goods. The manufacturing takes place at a remote place, but we will be supplying the goods to different places, to remote villages, to towns, to cities, to metropolitan cities. So everywhere the products are able to be delivered or reached because of the transportation. Hindrance of time. The products need to be stored in a warehouse unless and until there is demand for it. The time gap, the gestation period from production to consumption, eliminated with the help of these warehouses. See, for example, wheat is produced or rice is produced and there is no demand at present. What we will do, we will store it in a warehouse. When the demand comes, when there is market demand, then the product is delivered to delivered in the market. Similarly, everything for this we require warehouses. So therefore, the warehouses they are very much helpful for us in solving the problem of time. Hindrance of risk. One would find risk in all kinds of business, basically of 2 types, avoidable and unavoidable. These hindrances of risks are being eliminated only by insurance. So by making insurance, we can overcome the risk. Hindrance of exchange. Trade includes both buying and selling of goods and services. And for this we get something in return, that is consideration. Banking helps in eliminating such hindrance of exchange by giving credit facility to both the producer and the consumer. So banking is very, very important in solving the hindrance of exchange. Hindrance of knowledge. The hindrance of knowledge is being eliminated with the help of advertising and publicity. Advertising helps the consumer to be aware and provide the knowledge and information about the product or service, and we can know about the firm and we can purchase the product. So advertising plays a significant role, and we will be getting knowledge about the product or service and we are able to purchase the product. So these are the hindrances, and for all these hindrances we have various solutions, and so the role of commerce is very much required. Commerce helps in removing all these various hindrances. Okay, now coming to the trade and classification of trade. So trade, we have for example, it is a part of commerce. It deals with buying and selling of goods, Trade is regarded as the biggest strength of commerce since all the significant activities like transportation, warehousing, insurance, banking, advertising, publicity are the part of trade. So the trade can be divided into home trade and also foreign trade. So in home trade we have wholesale trade and retail trade. In foreign trade we have three types: import, export and entry port. So internal or home trade we can call it as domestic trade also. In home trade both the buyers and sellers are usually located in the same country. The national currency could be used for making payments for the exchange in home trade. Home trade is subdivided into two types: wholesale and retail. Wholesale trade possesses certain types of goods that are bought from the producers to the manufacturers. These goods are sold to the retailers in small quantities. For instance, a wholesaler doing a business of shoes would provide only this product and will be engaged in the activities of purchasing and selling of shoes only. In retail trade, the distribution channel, a retailer is regarded as the last link which deals with supplying the goods to the consumers. A retailer can either directly purchase the goods from the manufacturer or from the wholesaler. He or she sells the products in very small quantity to the end users, ultimate customers. For instance, a retailer purchases 10 dozens of soaps from a wholesaler on a particular date, and he may sell 2 or 3 soaps to the different customers. International or foreign or external trade. The process of exchanging goods and services among individuals or firms located in two or more countries is known as international trade. International trade is classified into import, export, entry port. Import trade refers to the trade wherein the foreign goods are purchased by the domestic markets for the purpose of consumption. Export trade refers to the trade wherein the domestic goods are being sold in the foreign market. Entry port trade refers to the trade when the imported goods are being exported again to some other country. The trade is more successful when there is greater demand for the product, the price of the product is acceptable, and when there are suitable promotional strategies. So the next one is regarding the aids to trade. So transportation, warehousing, insurance, banking, advertising, branding. So transportation is very much required. It is essential to transport the goods produced by the manufacturer to the end users. Transportation eliminates the hindrance of place and creates the place utility. It is true that business can be successful only because of transportation. Next comes the warehousing. Right from the stage of production till the final consumption, goods and raw materials need to be stored. Warehouse facilities helps in maintaining the time gap between the production and consumption. Hindrance of time is removed through warehousing and time utility is created. We have insurance. Risk can be eliminated only with the help of insurance. Any loss or damage of goods can be claimed from the insurance companies in case the goods are being insured. We have banking. Banks provide credit facility to the manufacturers and also to the consumers. Consumers can avail the loan facility from the bank and they can repay it through drafts, checks, discounting of bills of exchange and so on. And coming to the advertising and branding, the information and knowledge of goods and services manufactured by the firm are being provided to the potential buyers with the help of advertising. The consumers, when they gain knowledge about the product, they usually tend to buy the product. Brand gives an identity to the product or service and distinguishes it from the competitors or rivals. A brand can be a name, a term, sign, symbol, or a group. Relationship and differences between business, industry, commerce, and trade. So this is very important. Here we have around 10 aspects. Each and every aspect let us study with respect to business, industry, commerce, and trade. So here, for example, trade, industry, and commerce are closely related with each other. They are interrelated. Industry provide base to commerce and trade for distribution of goods. Therefore, without commerce and trade, industry cannot operate its functions. Commerce support industry by maintaining flow in distribution of goods from producer to the consumers and also provide auxiliary services to trade. Thus, commerce depends on industry because finished goods comes from the industry. Trade acts as a link between the producers and consumers, which indirectly provides support to industry. Trade provides base for industry and commerce, auxiliary services like transportation, banking, insurance, advertising, etc. Trade is a part of commerce. Industry is the base for trade through commerce. Trade involves exchange of goods by cash or credit, and commerce acts as its mechanism. Uh, Trade, industry, and commerce are interrelated with a high degree of interdependence. Now, coming to the differences among these business, industry, commerce, and trade, let us study with respect to the meaning. Business, as you all know, activities which involve purchasing, selling, or lending of goods and services. And the main intention is to earn profit. Whereas in industry, the meaning is industry refers to a area or unit where all the uh, production activities take place of different companies, usually in factories. So we focus on the production aspect. In factories, most of the production will be taking place. So it refers to a unit where all the production activities take place. Coming to the commerce, buying and selling of goods or services at large scale is referred to as commerce. And trade, the activity of buying, selling, and exchanging of goods and services is referred to as trade. Coming to the operations, in business, we can operate anywhere, and industry, it is operated from workshop or factory. So one workshop or factory, there only we can operate it. Commerce, it is operated from production or distribution center. Once the production is over, then we can start commerce. Now coming to the trade, it is operated in the market where buying and selling takes place. So the market is the point. Operations will start at the marketplace. Coming to the representation, business seeks only profit aspect. And coming to the industry, it represents supply side of goods and services. So it supplies finished goods. And coming to the commerce, it represents demand side of goods. So based on the demand side of the goods and services, commerce will it represents. And coming to the trade, it represents both the supply as well as the demand side of goods and services. Inclusion, business includes producing, buying, selling, and earning profits. Industry includes conversion of raw material to finished goods. And commerce, it includes trades and aids to trade. Trade, it includes exchange of goods and services. Coming to the activity services, business is an economic activity, whereas industries produce goods and services, and commerce is distributes goods and services, and trade means buying and selling of goods. Types, business comprises both commerce and trade. Industry, it consists of primary, secondary, and service industries. And coming to the commerce, it has a trade and aids to trade. And in trade, we have home trade and foreign trade. Coming to the capital requirement, high amount of working capital is required for a business. Higher amounts of working and fixed capital are required for a large scale industry. And coming to the commerce, greater working capital and less fixed capital is required for commerce, and less working capital is required for the trade. Creation of utility. In business, business always it builds production utility, marketing and distribution utility, and finance utility. Whereas industry always it focuses on the form utility. Whereas commerce, it builds upon not only on the place and time utility, it also has a possession utility, as trade is one of the component of commerce. And coming to the trade builds the possession utility through buying and selling. And risk, and business, it involves higher level of risk, and in industry also there is high level of risk. Commerce, it involves low level of risk than that of industry, and trade, it involves low level of risk. Coming to the mutual dependence, all the activities of trade, industry and commerce comes under business. Commerce and trade both greatly depend on industry. Trade is significant part of commerce. Therefore, without trade there cannot be commerce. Activities of industry and commerce cannot be completed without trade. So these are the things which we have studied in lesson 1. We have discussed about the differences among business, industry, commerce and trade. We have studied about the aids to trade. We studied about the trade, when we have studied about the industry, types of industries, and business, and what are the characteristics of business. So the lesson 1 is completed. In coming days we will be studying the other important concepts in this unit. So with this I will conclude. Thank you very much.